You're dialed in to Truth Hurts Radio with Charlie Chatters.
All right, listeners, welcome back aboard the listenership here at Truth Hurts Radio. I'm your host, Charlie Chatters. That's right, we're doing things a little bit different today. Here, Sunday, January 13th, 2019, we're doing a little video. I wanted to try something different. I dialed up all my equipment, got things rolling, figuring stuff out, and great Sunday. Hanging around the house and doing a bunch of stuff, doing some laundry and just a catch-up day here at home. And I've snuck away to the Lake City studio. And I was going to put out just a quick little video and throw something up on the Facebook page here at Truth Hurts Radio. Here I am, right? How was everybody's weekend? Was it a good one? I'll tell you, mine was great. Mine was absolutely wonderful. I have been busy with a whole lot of other things on the personal side of my life. And some of which I could share with you, some of which I will not. But nonetheless, I had a great weekend and hanging out with my family and enjoying them. And yeah, things are great. The weather today, looking outside, it's fantastic out there. It's like spring. It's got to be like 6 degrees. And you can smell the ground coming up. Everything's getting warm again. There's muck and mud everywhere. And you can smell all the cat poop and all the crazy stuff that's happening in the yard. So crazy weather for this time of year. I'm not going to complain though, although I will probably start complaining come the summer when we are worried about whether or not we have enough water to fight off fires. Anyhow, yeah, we're just throwing in a little video today. I wanted to do something a little bit different. Some of what I've been reading about and researching and thinking about is that videos get a lot of attention. It's a lot easier to broaden your scope of audience by doing and incorporating a video into your work. And I have looked at some video podcasters, if that's what they're called, or video bloggers. And yeah, some of them are quite enjoyable, right? It's actually, it brings a new energy when you're listening to someone that you can dial into, you can engage with that way. Sometimes it's a matter of who I listen to. Sometimes there are some voices out there that just drive me insane, or they get under my skin and they scratch me the wrong way. I hope that I'm not one of those people for you as listeners. I hope that my voice is something pleasant to listen to, because I think it's really important. Now, match that with a less than wonderful radio face, as I have. Someone once said to me that when I expressed an interest in radio, they said, well, why not? You've got the looks for radio, right? I think I had shared that with you once before, and a bit of a slap in the face, as it were, I suppose, but funny nonetheless. Anyhow, it does bring a new sense of energy when you're matching video to the voice that you're hearing. Perhaps that's why some people get a little more theatrical about it, and there's all kinds of areas and directions you can run with this, right? We could incorporate some sound effects, and we can incorporate a backdrop where I'm lounging in front of a waterfall or a sandy beach or whatever the case may be, right? So you can have a lot of fun with it. I'm keeping it fairly simple. Looking around the room, this is just the Lake City studio, and more of the mess and the equipment is in front of the camera or on the other side of the camera. So yeah, I thought I would just mix it up a little bit. Now, I'm also, I have a little bit of a motivation here behind this as well. And my hope is that if this video has caught your attention, I would like to very, very kindly ask my listeners, those that dial in, my faithful listeners, if you would, whenever you have the opportunity, whether it's on the Facebook page at Truth Hurts Radio, or if you're listening to the show when there is a show on other platforms, i.e. iTunes, Spotify, we are now also available on iHeartRadio, Spreaker.com. So if you're going to those other sites to listen to the show, or you've uploaded the apps onto your phones, or whatever it is that you're doing, and wherever you're listening to us, if you would take an opportunity where there is a place for you to write a review or make a recommendation or put a couple of stars on, attached to the page to say, yeah, not a bad show, right? I would recommend it to friends and family, that kind of thing. That kind of support really, really goes a long way in helping me. It lends me, how shall we say, credentials. It gives me something to substantiate my show. There are platforms that, and honestly, I believe that iTunes is one of them. They give you a trial run. And if your show is unsuccessful after a certain period of time, they basically dump you and you have to start all over again, right? And make a reapplication to get your show on there. Of course, you have to have X amount of episodes to qualify for some, like iHeartRadio. They expect and anticipate that you have a certain number of followers and a certain number of subscribers. And so it's really, really important to to pull my numbers up so that their statistic department is satisfied, that this show can continue and something that can move forward, right? So I kindly ask you, please, that when you have an opportunity, just take a couple of minutes out of your day to write a small review, or just to help share me and spread me around that way. It really does help. Now, my hope is also that at some point, perhaps I can monetize and make a few bucks out of this, which would really go a long way towards investing into the equipment and making the show something much more professional. And with this idea of video, if that was something I was going to entertain down the road, let's face it, video equipment is not cheap, right? And it would be certainly nice to open up the studio to a video department, even if it wasn't all the time, that perhaps once a month we could have a video show where we could invite guests onto the show and, kind of just step it up a notch, right? And step up our creativity a little bit. It gives me more of a canvas to work with. And I think the broader the canvas, the more successful I'll be. Because I got to tell you, I really, really do enjoy doing this. I hope that you enjoy listening, and in this case, watching, because, like I've mentioned in my first episode ever, that what's a talker without listeners, right? And nobody wants to be that person. I want an audience. I mean, that's why I do this, obviously, right? I enjoy, to some degree, being in the limelight. Does it soothe and pat my ego on occasion? Of course it does. I'm an entertainer. That's always the way that I've been, right? So I think if we can get past that, then we can start to have a lot of fun, right? So anyway, I won't take too much time. I just wanted to thank listeners and now viewers for stepping inside now the Lake City studio, although you're not getting much of a view. And for taking the time to hopefully write some reviews and give me some ratings and make some recommendations and continue to share me with your friends and family on your social media. Please be sure to let others know that we can be found on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Spreaker Radio. And anyway, that's that. And thanks for joining me, and stay tuned and look forward to some new wacky stuff as I try to get a little more creative, all right? Thank you for dialing in to Truth Hurts Radio. I'm your host, Charlie Chatters.
You're dialed in to Truth Hurts Radio with Charlie Chatters.